Hi everyone, I'm back to make a new batch of soap. Tonight I'm making something brand new. I learned how to do piped embeds, so I'm going to start with that. I'm using a new fragrance by Indigo Fragrance. The embed itself is going to be spice cake, and then the actual loaf of soap is going to be gingerbread. So I'm going to step outside and mix my lye together. And what's great about the piped embeds is that you don't have to melt down your oils. Once you mix your lye together, you can go ahead and mix it in right with the oils, and the temperature from the lye will melt down your oils because you want it to thicken up quite quickly so you can pipe it out because it has to sit for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the process, and I'll show you as we go along. All right, so I went and mixed my lye solution. Right after the granules dissolved into the water, I mixed it right into my room temperature oils, and the lye water melted down the coconut oil for me. I brought it up to a thick trace. I added some sodium lactate. I added the full ounce of Indigo Fragrance spiced cake, and I added a mica called Red Flame. So I'm going to let this thicken up, and then we're going to pipe it, and this is going to be my embed. I'll let it sit for an hour, and then I'll make another batch using gingerbread and pour that on top of the embed. So I'll bring you along with the process. So far, spiced cake has held up beautifully. There was no ricing, hasn't set up my soap, it hasn't changed the color, and it smells really, really good. I don't know what I'm going to call this loaf yet, so we're just going to keep working with it, and I'll show you as we go along. All right, here is my piped embed. I'm going to let this firm up for an hour, and then I'm going to make my other batch of soap using Gingerbread Fragrance Oil by Indigo Fragrance, and I'm going to put it in a pearl green color. I believe I'm going to call this loaf Home Sweet Home because it just smells like my mom's kitchen at Christmas time. So as the process continues, I'll show you as we go along, but this has got to firm up for an hour, so I'm going to shut the camera off and get other things situated. Alright, so my embed is hardening up, and for the main batch I'm going to use coconut milk, and I like to make it into ice cubes because of the sugars that's in the coconut milk. The lye and the coconut milk mixing together will turn it a yucky brown. I found if you freeze the coconut milk, it slows down the heating process and doesn't burn the sugars. So I'm going to go ahead and get that mixed together. I have my oils heating up. And as always, we want to use lye safety precautions, gloves, goggles, mask, and a well-ventilated area. I'm going to go ahead and continue with the process. This is going to be my main color. It's a pearl green. And for this section, I'm using Indigo Fragrance Gingerbread. I use spice cake for the embed, and for the main portion of the soap, I'm going to use gingerbread. Now, I want to make sure that it doesn't set up my soap, that it doesn't cause any ricing, that it doesn't discolor my soap, and that the scent holds up well. So I'm going to continue on with the process, and I'll show you as we do each step. Okay, here's my lye solution. This is what it looks like after the coconut milk ice cubes melted with the lye. You just add a little bit of lye at a time, and you keep stirring and stirring until it's all melted, and then continue to add just a little bit of lye at a time. You don't want to add it all together because the heat process will turn the sugars in the coconut milk brown, and you really don't want that. I like it this creamy yellowish color, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll add titanium dioxide to this mix to make it really creamy white. Again, I'm using gingerbread in this portion of my embed soap, and the main color is going to be this pearl green. Again, I'm calling it Home Sweet Home because it just smells like my mom and my grandma's kitchen around Christmas time. So I'm letting my oils cool down because since we used ice cubes to activate the lye solution, my lye is already really cool. So I got to get my oils cooled down. My lye is about at 85 degrees, so I have to cool my oils down to about 90 or 85 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with that process, and then I'll show you the steps when we're up to that. All right, I went and added my coconut milk lye solution to my room temperature oils. I'm getting ready to add the full ounce of gingerbread, and I'm going to add my pearl green colorant. I will show you that when I have it all mixed together. All right, I went ahead and added the full ounce of gingerbread, and it's holding up beautifully. This is a really pretty, I know it looks like a mossy green in the camera, but it's actually like a really vibrant lime green with a little bit of shimmer in it. And it's going to fit into my red, I know here it looks brown, but it's a fiery flame red with also a little shimmer in it embed. So that is all hardened up. I'm going to go ahead and add this layer to the soap, and then we're going to let it sit for 24 hours, and then we'll cut it and we'll see how nice it looks on the inside. Again, this is my first time making piped embed soap. I'm calling it Home Sweet Home. I used spice cake for the actual embed, and I used gingerbread for the other portion of this loaf. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the mold, add a little bit of shimmer dust on top, and then set it aside for 24 hours. I'll let you see what it looks like when I'm done putting it fully in the mold. And we'll cut it. It is time to unmold my loaf of soap called Home Sweet Home. It smells delicious. I'm going to go ahead and unmold it and cut a couple pieces, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'm really excited. Looks like everything held up really well.